What's going on, guys? This is Hunter from Commonwealth Comics, and I just wanted to hop on here and do a little solo sesh with you guys. I'm going to go over what I pulled this week and maybe get you guys on some new books, just kind of show off what I like to read and what I like to collect. So we'll go with our pull books first. So, first off, one of the longest books I've pulled. I've been pulling this probably since before the Suicide Squad, the first Suicide Squad movie came out. So Harley Quinn. I have basically a full run of Harley Quinn. So I've just been pulling this for since 2016-ish. So this book has been pretty solid. It got a little weird for a while there, but overall pretty decent read. Harley Quinn, I mean, you gotta love her. And then Image book, what's the furthest place from here? This is a cool read. The art's awesome. If you haven't read it, it's pretty fun. Just your standard weird Image book. This is a newer book, The Schlub. I thought it was really funny looking. The art's great in it. I'll read pretty much anything Image, especially if it's a weird book like this. It's got Stegman, Porter. Yeah, Schlub. Actually, VeganSuperkick on Instagram and YouTube got me onto that book. So thanks, Maggie. Another Image book, surprise, surprise. Savage Strength of Starstorm. A lot of alliteration there. This book, I mean, it looked like your 90s superhero book, so I had to have it. I'm sure Chris is reading it as well. We like our 90s superhero and cheesy comic books from the 90s, so that's a good one. Miracle Man. If you haven't read Miracle Man, specifically the Alan Moore stuff, I highly recommend you go and read Miracle Man. It is great. This is the Gaiman run. It's been going on, I want to say about a year now. We're on issue 6, so it's taken a while to come out, but it's Gaiman, so it's a good read. Next, this was a book that I didn't originally pick up, and then I saw that they made a second print. I saw the second issue on the shelf, so I looked through it and it looked pretty interesting. But Sacrificers, get the title in there. I just thought it looked really interesting. The art's really cool. It's a cool premise. So yeah, I saw that the second printing was coming out, so I figured, why not? So I grabbed the first 2 issues of that. I'm really looking forward to reading that. A big name in comic books and art in general, Frank Frazetta. I guess the family, or I don't really know, but Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer. Super cool character. The Death Dealer art from back in the day was awesome. It's your standard sword and loincloth type Conan type story. So super cool, super violent. And Frank Frazetta, you got to pick it up. Speaking of Conan, we got issue 3 of Conan. This is the Titan Comics run. I think the Marvel run ended a year or 2 ago, so Titan Comics has it now. It's been pretty cool so far. They just released I think it was a second print, and it's got the Conan movie poster on it. So that was pretty cool. Love Arnold as Conan, super cool. Jason Momoa, not so much, but he tried. This is a weird book that I don't really know why I picked it up. Um, it's a Alice in Wonderland story from Boom Studios. Uh, Alice Never After. It's been pretty strange. Art's kind of cool. Um, yeah, so that's just kind of a why not kind of book that I picked up. Second to last floppy that I picked up, Black Hammer: The End. Now, this is a Dark Horse comic, um, and I love Dark Horse comics, especially Hellboy comics. And the great thing about Dark Horse comics that I love is they're all pretty much self-contained stories. So you can pick one up and read it, and it's not going to be like picking up issue 987 of Batman. You'll be able to follow the story pretty well. So Black Hammer, super cool book. I read the first few runs, so this is the latest run. It's called The End. And then last but not least, I got my copy of Spawn. So this is issue 345. Nice shot of Cygor on the front. It's Spawn. Love Spawn. This is the book that I always look forward to every month. Yeah. Enough said. Spawn. Speaking of Spawn, another book that I picked up this week was Volume 5 of the Spawn Compendiums. This collects 201 to 250, so we're sneaking up on 300. I guess obviously we're at 345 now, so I guess Compendium 6 will be the last one until we get to 350. So really happy that they kept making these. I know with the Spawn Origins trade paperbacks, there was a while there where they didn't make them. Like they made them up to a certain number and then they stopped. And so you didn't have the full collection if you wanted to read it in trade paperback. So I'm really glad they kept making these, because this is a really good way if you're trying to read Spawn to get the whole story in a nice chunk. They're only about $60, so you're getting 50 issues for $60, especially if you're trying to collect the floppies, the single issues. That gets really expensive really quick. I know from experience. I am trying to collect these issues actually from 201 to 250, and they're very pricey. Luckily, I think the aftermarket is starting to come down a little bit to more reasonable prices, but still $60 for 50 issues, you can't beat that. So great option if you're looking to read Spawn for cheap. I also picked up this really cool trade paperback from Tokyo Pop. It is The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Battle for the Pumpkin King. I believe it is a prequel telling the story of how Oogie Boogie and Jack become enemies, how Jack becomes the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town. The art in this, I gotta say, is really good. Let me try to find a really good shot. Let's go with that. I think the art's stellar. It looks really faithful to the stop animation style that Tim Burton and Tom Selleck gave us. And it's a really cool idea, like a prequel to the movie. So it gives the characters a little more background, tells the story of how the two main characters kind of form their dynamic. So really cool book. A couple more cool books. Got these cool Richard Corbin hardcovers. I love Richard Corbin. Great artist. These books are so freaking nice. Let me make sure there's no explicit content, but it really does a good job reprinting his artwork in this really digestible size hardcover. That one's called The Den, or just Den, and it's got this nice dust cover with more art on the inside hardcover and this nice foil border. Yeah, Den is the first one, and the one I was really looking forward to was Murky World. This is set up the same way, so the display really well on the shelf together. Hopefully they do more of these Richard Corbin ones. I know they're putting out a Richard Corbin Hellboy hardcover, I think later this year, and I gotta have that. It's Hellboy. Some more really nice artwork for the hardcover. And again, it does a really good job reprinting his stellar art. I mean, you can't get any better than that. But yeah, had to have those. Thank you, Jewett, for ordering those for me. I know he had to have a set as well. So we cover a lot of American comics on this channel. And I wanted to do a little showcase on some manga that I found. And I'm not usually a manga guy, so this was kind of a big deal. It's called The Drifting Classroom. It is a horror manga, and it's pretty graphic, pretty violent, has some pretty messed up themes. It's about a classroom that gets transported to hell, and the characters have to deal with being in hell and dealing with like demons and monsters and different things that happen. So this is a really cool book. It is a hardcover, so really nice. Artwork's great. That looks pretty okay. And it is Japanese manga, so it reads backwards for Americans. So not a big deal, but just be aware of that. Really cool book. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I think there's 3 volumes, and I think they're about $35. So kind of pricey, but you're getting a lot of material in a hardcover. So really cool. This is not a comic book. I just wanted to showcase a new shop I found. Let me make sure I get the name right. Yeah, so this is a record store. For anyone that doesn't know, I am a huge record collector. So I like to explore different record stores when I have the chance. And my wife and I had the opportunity to go to Red River Gorge over the weekend. And we found this record store called The Fat Cave. And it was a really cool store, very reasonably priced. The owner seemed really cool, got to talk to him a little bit. And it was just really a nice store. On the way out, I managed to find this, which, for those that don't know, I'm a huge Smashing Pumpkins fan. And this has been my Grail album since I got into records. So this is Melancholy in the Infinite Sadness. And it comes with four records, because the album is super long. And it comes with 2 booklets and then this really nice hard case that all of it rests in. He had a great price on it. Had to have it. Yeah, so the Fat Cave. If you're ever in Red River Gorge and you're into record collecting, go give them go check them out. I highly recommend them. Great prices, really friendly owner, and thank you again for finishing my pumpkins collection. So super cool. And then last but not least, I am a big collectibles guy, so I had to buy this. This is the Trick or Treat Studios Halloween Ends Michael Myers mask. I got this from my favorite comic book store, Comics Plus, here in Richmond. Had a great price on this. I'm a big Michael Myers fan, so I had to have this. I have the 2018 mask, and the thing about this mask is I did a rehaul on it, which I plan on doing to this one. So I'm just going to repaint it, make it a little more accurate, make it a little cooler, and then this will be going in my collection. Thank you again, Todd. And if you don't know what I mean by rehaul, I repainted this one myself and gave it a fresh coat because the stock paint isn't great. It's pretty lackluster, but for artists like me, that's just a blank slate. So yeah, I get all my books from Comics Plus in Richmond. Todd Solfridge is the man. And speaking of which, we try to talk about it every single time we make a video or we do a podcast. In November, they are putting on a Comic-Con. It is at the EKU Alumni Coliseum Rec Center. So if you go to EKU, there's that massive parking lot in front of the Alumni Coliseum, and the rec center is right behind the actual Coliseum. So yeah, November 11th, 12th. We will have a booth there, so you can come talk to us and, tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you would like to hear. Maybe snap a picture with us. I don't know. Anything could happen. But yeah, Richmond Comic and Toy Show. So November 11th and 12th. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I think $15 for one day, $25 for the whole weekend. So it's a 2-day show. That is really reasonable, especially when there's going to be some really cool celebrities there. There's going to be a ton of booths. Just be there. It's going to be awesome. Well, that is all I got for today. I'll try to do another one of these next week. I'm sure Chris might do the same. But thank you guys for watching, and thank you for listening to our podcast. And be sure to give us a review or tell us what you want to hear. I would love to see some feedback from you guys. I know Chris would as well. We both want to see what you guys want us to talk about, because we talk about a lot of stuff we like, but maybe we can talk about stuff that you like. We just interviewed another guest. I will save that for when we release it. But we did have another interview, so be on the lookout for that, guys. And thanks for having me. This has been another episode of Commonwealth Comics podcast. Thank you, guys.